Donna. Nice to see you here. We'll wait just another minute or so for people to find me. There's Connie and my sister Kathy. Hi, Patsy. Hi, everybody. Okay. I guess my banner here got folded by accident. I'll wait about 15 more seconds. I hope everybody's had a good day. Okay. Well, I guess we get started. So this is the hostess code for anybody that wants to place an order for this month. And your order is less than $150. Please use this hostess code. You can also find it on the top of my Stampin' Up! With Corrine page. I did send out an email and a post. I now have the new mini catalogs. The mini catalog starts January 4th. And then, of course, we have Celebration, which for those of you that are not familiar with it, if you purchase $50 before tax and shipping, you're allowed to select a free product out of this little catalog. If you sell, then there's a couple of specialty items that if your order is $100 before tax and shipping. So if you do not have a current demonstrator and you'd like me to send you a catalog, or if you're local, I would appreciate it if you could pick it up, because unfortunately it is a little pricey to mail, but I'm more than happy to do that for the people that don't live nearby. Just send me a short private message and I'll do that. You are absolutely going to love it. I have 3 months of classes already scheduled on my calendar for some product-based technique type classes that people have been asking for. So, and also this is the last week that I will be featuring Christmas stuff. Starting next Monday, I'm awful with dates. I will start showcasing some of the new products that will be available in the mini catalog, as well as some that will be available for Celebration. So, I can see Patsy says she's already drooling over some of the product. I know, isn't it just beautiful? I say that every time we get a new catalog, but it's like they just keep getting better and better and better. I mean, it's just amazing. So let me grab my little basket here of stuff. So we're going to make 2 projects tonight using designer paper. This is the first one. You know how you always have those tiny little pieces of paper that you just don't know what to do with? This is a great project for that. I actually borrowed the idea from another demonstrator that I saw it on. This one here, I'm going to make it just a tad different. I'm using crumb cake for the background instead of mint macaron like I did here. I think everybody knows me, but just in case, I do post this to YouTube after. My name is Corrine Saindon. I teach stamping and scrapbooking in the Lewiston-Auburn area, primarily here in Maine of the United States. So if I can be of any resource, please feel free to reach out to me. So our card bases are normal, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this should be 4 by 5 1/4, but I can see I didn't cut it. So let me grab my nice cutter and trim it down just a whisker. Oh yeah, 1/4 inch. There we go. So this is a Stampin' Up! Cutter. If you don't have one, I'm telling you, you need one. To me, again, it's like everything else in their products. As the years go by, it gets better and better. It has this lock-in feature, 1/4 inch, 1/8 inch, and then 16th. It's also in centimeters. But the little tip that I like to tell people in case they forget Any cutter system that you have, if it has two blades, like a score blade and a cutting blade, the score blade is always different than the base of your cutter color. So the one that matches your color is the cutting blade. All right. So what this particular tree that I made required 3 squares. The first one is a 2 1/4 square. Then the second one is a 1 3/4, and then 1 1/4. So they're a 1/2 inch smaller. So I'm going to start with the biggest one so you can see it easier. I just fold it like a triangle, and then you bring the top part down till it hits the edge right here, as you can see. I need to grab some pop-ups. See if I have some tiny ones here. Yep. So this is going to be a little bit pop-up heavy, but it really makes a difference in how it looks. So I put 2 inside for that layer, and then 1 under my point. So I'm going to repeat that. I thought I had pre-stamped those saying, but I guess I didn't. Okay, so again, I want most of the green to show, so I'm putting my pattern side inside. This paper comes from that poinsettia paper, and I'll have it all listed for you tomorrow when I do the recipe. So again, we're going to put a couple of pop-ups. I think this one could take 1. It's not very big. And then we're going to bring this top down till it meets the edge. Just like that. You can see where the point meets the edge. I need to put a little pop-up underneath that. So now I have 2 of them, and then I'm going to do my final one. So if you can't get this folded nice and straight, try cutting with your framelits, or if you have punches that are big enough, you could do that too. So now I'm going to fold it down so it meets the edge. Stick a pop-up in here. And I don't know, I'm going to pop up here. Oops, I think I better move that down just a hair. Okay, so there we have our 3 layers. So it's pretty easy to layer them. They're going to slide down till they meet the top of the previous layer. So I like to use my wet glue so I can adjust it for a minute, and it's easy to make sure it's lined up because you can be looking at your points. So I'm going to hold that there just for a second while it gravitates, and then another little bit here. Okay, so that looks good. Let me attach this to my card with my favorite Tombow. So I have a few minutes. I need to put my ribbon on first. Almost did it. How many times have we all done that? I bet all of us have done it at least once. I know I've done it more than once. I put it on, realized that I forgot to put my ribbon. So here's the cheating method. We put just a little bit more down here. Oops, that doesn't want to stick on me. I'm going to center that so I have a green frame all the way around. I love this snowflake. I think it's called snowflake. Let me grab it. Winter snow embossing folder. It's just so pretty. Make sure this is here as well. Then I have just a piece of scrap of brown. I also have this piece of white. It might be a little narrower. I know we have all kinds of dyes, and I'm probably not being a good salesman when I say this, but sometimes I like to just cut my own little hills and stuff, which is what I did here. So I'm going to put some Tombow here. I kind of only put it on 3 sides because I want to be able to slide my scrap underneath. So it is a little bit long, but it's okay. I can live with it. Just going to hold it there. The Tombow or heavy duty tape is really the best thing to use when you're using something that's embossed, because the tape runner just doesn't seem to care for the embossed area. However, if you're using the new Stampin' Up! Plus, Stampin' Up! Oh gosh, it's a tongue twister. I don't know, I can't think of it right now, I'm sorry. Anybody here know the name of the new Stampin' Up? Stampin' Up, Stampin' Up, Stampin' Up, something plus. Now I can put my little tree on. It looks like a Charlie Brown one, this one. I don't know what I did different, but he'll be pretty when I dress him up, right? And I selected red because it was my husband's favorite color, and B, the last probably 4 or 5 years that he was alive, we had to have all red Christmas balls. He wanted it and he never had it, so finally I said, it's just him and I, all the kids were gone. I said, you can finally get your red balls. He was happy. It's so funny, huh? When you're with somebody so many years and you didn't even realize that they wanted. I'm sure we all that have been married for a long time can tell a funny story. All right, so I absolutely love these little red rhinestones. I think they're so sweet. And they're just the right size, and they're the perfect Christmas red. Let me move this one. I know I should be using my pickup tools. For some reason I can hear somebody saying that without looking. Okay, and then I'm going to cut a half of a pop. I think this won't take a whole pop up. Let me check. Yeah, I got to cut a piece of pop up. It's a little narrow piece. That's why I like these little edges, don't you, for that? Can't waste anything. Oh, thank you, Patsy. So I'm going to put the little star on, and I'm going to put a red rhinestone right in the middle of it. The biggest thing is that I really like is that you always have a ton of scraps on your table that we never know what to do with, or if you're like me, I put them in a bag with my designer paper thinking, okay, I'm going to make something, but every now and then I do. I try to make, some of you have seen it, I call them scrappy projects. Okay, I'm making my own bow because I want it to lay a certain way. So as you can see, I made a bow. I got to grab my glue dots here. Goodness gracious, I still have snowmen on here from the other night. So I'm going to put it like right there. And then I'm going to stamp. I did use this little itty bitty Christmas. Celebrate the season. Grab one of my strips out of my jar that I always have of scraps. Using the coordinating wheel red. Tap dance lightly. And then I'm going to stamp it right in the middle here. Perfect. Now I'm going to wait just a second before I stick my hands on it. Sometimes the red, the darker the ink, the more pigmentation it takes to make that color. So red especially will tend to bleed more, or if you touch it and it's not quite dry, it will. So I'll show you my trick that I use. See how my words are facing up, but my punch is upside down. I do that so I can see if my words come up. So I'm putting it in. And slide it down, take just a little bit more off, and perfect. And then I've just put some dimensionals behind that. On the sample, I like how it's like white on white, like that. You only need a couple. You have one of these pickup tools that takes those little papers off. Amazing. So as you can see on my sample, I'm a little bit above the snowbank. There we go. So which one do you guys like better? The mint one or the plum cake? All right. Let me get the stuff for my next project. This one is super quick, but it's a lot of fun to make. It is one of the circle. I know some of you are on here have made these many times with me before. There is the sample right here. So this is using a circle. I happen to have a circle scallop die, but if you didn't, just take a big, like your Tombow when it's full, and you know, trace it and cut it with, we all have some of our decorative scissors in our stash. But this is from an old layering circles. Some of you might have it that have been stamping for a long time. I think it's called layering circles. Oh, nope, here it is. It was back in the days of framelits. Circle collection framelits. I think that was when they first came out with them. So again, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. This is cherry cobbler. Oh, it looks like people. It's got 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Oh, it looks like the crumb cake one wins out. One more on the crumb cake than on the other one. Then I grabbed a piece. Again, I was trying to use stuff off my table. So this is that pretty. I had cut it the wrong way. I wanted it this way, and I cut it this way, so I kept it. So I'm using that, and this is 3 3/4 by 5. I'm going to put some red glue. I'm just curious, how many of you, decorative scissors? Yes, Cindy, you could use those, absolutely. How many of you use Tombow now that I've convinced you that it's the glue of choice? It really is. It gives you a few minutes to play. It stays well. Okay. So this is what you start with, and you cut it in half. I'm not going to cut this one right now because I already have one. So it starts off with the big piece. So I think I want to go, the nice thing is you can change it if you don't like it. So let's start like this. I just eyeball it. I'm not doing anything. Okay, so once you do that piece, the next piece you line it up right where you folded it. And like I said, nothing's concrete. Oh, I'm going to do it a little bit smaller. So you just keep folding it back and forth, depending on how wide you like it. This one's going to be a little bit more dense than the first one. So I'm going to cut another one so we can practice one more time. So all I do is fold it in half. I want to show you from start to beginning. And just cut down the middle. So then I'm going to bring it like this. And then bring this piece, I'm having a heck of a time here. Okay, so like this, so I can see that scallop. Like this, and then bam. You're not going to be able, if you want to make two trees the same, you're not. Because look at this one. And then this one, I want the green to be more. So I don't know what you want to say, about a fourth of it. This one, and then again, I'm just folding it using the previous fold as my guide. I just want you guys to see how they can all look different. Now, when I get to one like this does happen. You can either cut that off, or you can bring it back, whichever you prefer. I'm going to see what it looks like before. See, there's not quite enough to bring it all the way back. So I'm going to cut it off on this one, and then I'm going to make one more so you can see it. There's no right or wrong way. It's just go with how you feel. And then follow your guide. That's about even with that edge. And if you don't like it, it's only a piece of paper, people. How many of us could open a scrapbook store with the supply of paper that we have? I know I could. And I'm sure there's a few of you here. Let me straighten that out just a little bit more. I want it a little bit more pointy. And see how they're all different. And the nice thing is you can take it apart and refold it. That's what I like. So if you don't like it, you can come back and refold it. Just like that. And probably one more time. To me, the hardest fold is actually the last one, because you want it to be pointed. Yeah. So I'm going to pick one. I also cut 2 of those frame, one for the inside and one for the outside. It's from our Stitch Sweetly Dies. It came out with the pretty poppy set. So this is for the inside. I'm going to get that right on, and I already re-stamped it. That's another thing I do. I don't know if you guys do, but if I'm going to cut out a piece like this, I usually cut out a dozen at the same time, just so that I have them. And like this one here, I made 6 just like this, so that I have them in my, I think I've showed you guys this before, my binder. This is a baseball card binder. So when I want to sit down and make a stack of cards, I do not have to always jump up and get a word set. So let's see which one I like the best. I think I like the colored background better than the white on the white. So I guess we'll use this one. So again, you need to put a few pop-ups to be able to keep the layers so that they, you know, give it that textured look. So I'm just opening the layers and putting a pop-up. When I get closer to the top, I'll just use a glue dot. So this one here, I'll probably just put a glue dot. Let me grab my pickup tool. All right. So because there's so many pop-ups, I don't want to put this on with pop-ups too. Why isn't that folded well? Let me get my bone folder out here. Yeah, that's better. How many of you have a conversation with yourself while you're stamping? I do all the time. That way I win the argument, right? Okay. Oh, thank you, Cindy. Yeah, I figure if I'm going to make a mess, I might as well help myself out the next time. So that's why I always cut 12 and stamp 6. Okay, so I'm going to put my tree on. Oh, I should have cut a piece of that. Oh, I'll get it out of my jar. My famous jar here. Just grab a piece of for my trunk. This is the cinnamon cider. I'm going to stick that down before I put my cute little skinny tree. Those skinny trees are pretty popular now, huh? I'm going to hold that down just for a minute. Awesome! I'm happy to see many of you are going to do the baseball. Yeah, if you Amazon Prime, the baseball cards are cheap on Amazon. So for this one, I'm going to put red blings to see how it looks. So yeah, you would definitely need a little bit of extra postage with this. If you would buy the something tail, butterfly tail, stamps that are 70 cents, so they're half an ounce more. You would definitely be okay, I think, with that. You might need that and a forever stamp, depending on where you're sending it, but it depends on how picky your post office is. And now they send them back to the sender, not to the receiver. Back in the day, we used to get. So you could put a little red star like I have here on the other sample, or I had these left over. Oh, while I'm thinking of it, I should show you my, this is one of my bling things. Some are bootleg, some aren't. For those of you that don't know what bootleg means, to me it's anything that's not Stampin' Up, you know, like bootleg booze. Okay. So isn't that sweet? Well, there we have it. And I already made an envelope that's pretty. I just had a piece of designer paper sitting on my desk where I work, and I used it. So here's a couple more samples. Like I said, don't be afraid, because you can refold it if you don't like it. There we go. I hope you like the projects. I'll put the brown on top since people like that one best. I will be back on Wednesday night. I have 2 slimline cards for you. So for those of you that like slimline, I'll be using that paper that I used over the weekend. For those of you that saw my Facebook for the home decor, I think it was. I don't know, but I used it over the weekend. So I'll be using that again for one. And I forget what the other one is. Oh, Tammy says Walmart carries baseball card things too, so that's good to know. All right, ladies, I hope you have a good night. Thank you so much. Take care, be safe, be kind, wear your mask, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.